Welcome to Agoracom's Small Cap Breaking News, your daily go-to source for the best small cap headlines for over 65 million investors since 2007.
That's right. And today we're doing a deep dive on the headlines and the numbers that really matter.
Yeah, we're talking financials and drilling results and everything in between. Just the kind of stuff that would get an investor to go, maybe I should take a closer look at this.
Exactly. We're cutting through the noise and going straight to the stuff that moves markets, the news that actually makes a difference.
So let's kick things off with PyroGenesis.
PyroGenesis, okay.
They trade on the TSX under PYR and on the OTCQX under PYRGF.
Got it.
And they just dropped this headline, turnaround year with soaring revenue and expanding global footprint in clean tech.
Okay, so soaring revenue and clean tech, that's a pretty powerful combo. What kind of numbers are we looking at?
Well, their Q4 revenue was up a solid 40% year over year.
40%? Not bad. Not bad at all.
And get this, they actually managed to hit profitability in Q4.
Wow, so they went from a loss to actually making money. That's definitely a turnaround, just like their headline said. What about the full year?
For the whole year, their net loss narrowed by, wait for it, 77%.
77%. That's a huge improvement. I mean, it's still a loss, but they're clearly heading in the right direction.
Exactly. And it looks like they're set up for a pretty strong future, too. Their revenue backlog is sitting at a healthy $54.4 million.
Okay, so that's a good sign for continued growth.
Yeah.
What's driving that backlog?
A big chunk of that, like 87%, is actually in U.S. dollars.
Ah, so that's a nice hedge against any currency fluctuations, especially these days.
Exactly. But it's not just about the numbers. They've also got some pretty exciting developments in the works. They scored a $2.4 million contract from Norsk Hydro, the aluminum giant, to test out their plasma torches.
Plasma torches for aluminum production.
Yeah, the idea is to replace fossil fuels with these torches and make the process cleaner.
Interesting. So they're aiming to decarbonize a major industry. That's a big market if they can pull it off.
And it's not just aluminum. They also landed a $27 million contract in the defense sector.
Defense, wow. What are they doing there?
Building a 20-megawatt plasma torch.
20 megawatts, that's a seriously powerful torch. What's it for? Melting tanks?
Well, the details are a little hush-hush, but it's definitely a sign that their tech is being taken seriously by some major players.
Yeah, no kidding. Defense contracts are usually pretty demanding in terms of technology and reliability.
Absolutely. And on top of that, they're branching out into waste-to-energy. They've got a new partnership to develop gas flaring and renewable natural gas, or RNG, systems in the U.S.
So really diversifying, huh?
Yeah. And get this, one of the world's top 3 steelmakers is currently putting their plasma torches through their paces in electric arc furnaces. And they've also teamed up with GE Vernova on a furnace electrification project.
Wow, so they're really hitting all the major industrial sectors. Aluminum, defense, waste-to-energy, steel. That's a pretty impressive reach.
It really is. It seems like they're positioning themselves to play a major role in the clean tech revolution. All right, let's shift gears to the gold sector.
All right, gold. Always a good sector to watch.
Absolutely. West Red Lake Gold Mines, they trade on the TSXV under WRLG and on the OTCQB under WRLGF.
WRLG, got it. What's the news?
They've been hitting some high-grade gold at their Madsen mine.
High grade. Now we're talking. Tell me more.
They're getting ready to restart the mine in 2025, and their recent drilling results from the Austin zone have been pretty spectacular.
Spectacular. How so? Give me the numbers.
Well, they hit 23.81 grams per ton of gold over a 5.4-meter stretch. And they've got other intercepts, too, like 30.16 grams per ton over 4.3 meters and 12.43 grams per ton over a whopping 10.5 meters.
Wow, those are some seriously high grades and over some pretty good widths, too.
Right. And the timing couldn't be better with the mine restart coming up in 2025.
Yeah, that's perfect. These high grades could really boost their early stage production and margins.
Exactly. Now, they also have an existing resource base at Madsen, about 1.65 million ounces of indicated gold resources at an average grade of 7.4 grams per ton.
So they're adding to an already substantial resource.
And they've got 478,000 ounces of probable reserves at a grade of 8.16 grams per ton.
So they're not just exploring, they've got a solid base to work with. And these new high-grade hits just make the project even more attractive.
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out as they move towards production.
Definitely. High-grade gold is always a good story. Okay, let's move on to something a little different.
Sounds good. Let's talk energy.
Energy, all right. What do we got?
Prosper Energy, ticker symbols TSXV, PEI, and OTC. GXRFF just announced some solid March production numbers.
Solid, huh? How solid are we talking?
Well, they averaged 773 barrels of oil equivalent per day.
773 barrels per day. That's a decent clip.
And they even peaked at 881 barrels per day on March 27th.
So they're not just maintaining production, they're actually ramping things up.
Yeah, exactly. And they're doing it in a very cost-effective way. Their strategy of low-cost workovers is really paying off.
Workovers, huh? So they're getting more out of their existing wells.
Yeah, they brought 16 wells online at their Harts Hill asset for less than $5,000 per bow per day.
Wow, less than $5,000 per bow per day. That's incredibly efficient.
It is. They're also breathing new life into some older wells. They reactivated 9 out of 11 inactive wells in loose land, and 4 of them are already pumping out almost pure oil.
Pure oil, nice. So they're maximizing their output without breaking the bank.
All right. And it helps that market conditions are in their favor right now. The Western Canadian Select differential has been narrowing.
Ah, so they're getting a better price for their oil. That's going to boost their netbacks.
It is. All right, let's jump back to the gold exploration scene.
Back to gold. Sounds good. Who are we talking about?
Nucor Gold. You can find them on the TSXV under NCW and OTCQX under NCIUF.
NCW. Okay. What are they up to?
They're exploring the Enchi Gold project in Ghana, and their latest drill results are adding more fuel to the fire for expansion.
Ghana. Okay. I'm always interested in new gold discoveries. What kind of results are they getting?
One hole returned 0.73 grams per ton of gold over 68 meters.
68 meters. That's a pretty significant intercept.
Another hole hit 1.39 grams per ton over 24 meters, including a higher grade section of 6.56 grams per ton over 4 meters.
So they're seeing some decent grades and good widths. That's promising for potential resource growth. What's the timeline for this project?
They're aiming to complete a pre-feasibility study in 2025, which will give investors a much clearer picture of the project's economics.
So these drill results are coming at just the right time.
They are. The project already has a decent-sized resource base, 743,500 ounces of indicated resources, and another 972,000 ounces of inferred resources.
So there's definitely potential for a significant discovery here. It'll be interesting to see how this all unfolds as they move towards that feasibility study.
All right, one more gold explorer to look at, 1911 Gold Corp. They trade on the TSXV under AUMB and OTCQB under AUMBF.
AUMB. Got it. What have they found?
They just announced some promising new drill results from their True North project, also in Manitoba.
Manitoba. Okay. I'm sensing a theme here with all this gold exploration news.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of activity in the gold space right now.
So what are the highlights from 1911 Gold?
They've been drilling their San Antonio Southeast target, or SAMC for short.
SAMC, okay. And what are they hitting?
One hole returned 14.97 grams per ton of gold over 2.7 meters, including a super high-grade section of 71.6 grams per ton over half a meter.
71.6 grams per ton. Wow, that's bonanza grade.
They also hit 7.05 grams per ton over 3.1 meters and 18.8 grams per ton over 0.7 meters.
So it's not just one isolated high-grade hit. They're seeing some consistency here.
Right, and they're expanding the known mineralization with each new drill hole. One intercept extended the strike by 50 meters to the east, and another pushed the mineralization 80 meters down plunge.
That's good news. They're proving up the size and potential of this discovery.
And here's the really interesting part. The SAMSC target is located near their fully permitted True North mine and mill complex.
Ah, so they've got existing infrastructure that they could potentially leverage for this new discovery. That could be a game changer in terms of development costs and timelines.
It could. All right, for our final stop today, let's take a look at something a little different.
Different, okay. I'm intrigued.
Zafiro Methane Corp, trading on CBOE Canada under ZFI and OTCQB under ZFIF, just wrapped up a pretty impactful well plugging project in Pennsylvania.
Well, plugging, that sounds pretty niche.
It is, but it's actually a pretty important story. They plugged 18 orphaned oil and gas wells.
Orphaned wells, what does that mean?
It means they've been abandoned and no one's really responsible for them anymore.
Ah, so they're cleaning up after others, essentially.
Exactly. And it's not just about aesthetics. These wells can pose serious environmental and health risks.
Like what?
Well, in one case, an orphaned well near a family's home was contaminating their water supply with high levels of iron.
That's terrible. So Zephyro is stepping in to fix these problems.
They are, and they're doing it in a way that could potentially generate revenue.
Oh, how so?
Their business model is based on generating carbon offsets from methane abatement.
Ah, I see. So by plugging these leaky wells, they're preventing methane from escaping into the atmosphere, and they can sell those reductions as carbon credits.
Exactly. It's a win-win. They're addressing an environmental issue and creating a revenue stream at the same time. All right, that wraps up our deep dive for today.
Wow, we covered a lot of ground. From soaring revenues in clean tech to high-grade gold discoveries and even tackling environmental issues, it's clear that the small cap space is full of exciting opportunities.
It is. And remember, these are just a few highlights. We encourage you to dig a little deeper into any companies that piqued your interest. For PyroGenesis, you can find them under TSX, PYR, and OTCQX, PYRGF. West Red Lake Gold Mines trades on the TSXV as WRLG and OTCQB as WRLGF.
Prosper Energy is TSXV, PEI and OTC. GXXRFF. Nucor Gold trades as TSXV, NCW, and OTCQX, NCAUF. For 1911 Gold Core, look for TSXV, AUMB, and OTCQB, AUMBF. And finally, Zephyro Methane Corp trades on Cboe Canada as ZEFI and OTCQB as ZF.
So as you do your own research, think about this. Do you see any broader trends emerging from these individual company stories? Are there any other opportunities that these trends might point to?
So those are some great questions to consider. Sometimes the most exciting investment opportunities are hidden in plain sight, waiting for investors who are willing to connect the dots.
That's right. And for more breaking small cap news and in-depth analysis, be sure to subscribe to the Agoracom podcast. You can find us on Spotify. Just search for Agoracom and hit that subscribe button.
And be sure to check out oyagorout.com for all the latest small cap news and investor insights. We've got a wealth of information to help you navigate the markets and find your next big winner.
Thanks for tuning into this deep dive. We'll catch you next time with more exciting small cap news.
Until then, happy investing.